What is up, folks? Good morning, early morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Saturday, May 24th, 2025, and we are standing here at the Polderbaan, which is in use for arrivals. Center runway just now opened up. Rain is expected later in the morning, and the extrapolations vary a little bit in what they predict, but it looks like it might get wet sooner than I yesterday thought it was going to be. Hence, I hurried up this morning to see how quickly I could be on the scene to at least catch some airplanes before having to wrap up, which I expect will happen before noon. But who knows, maybe things will dissolve as the area of rain now over the North Sea is moving towards the Netherlands. Marja, goeie avond. Of is het nog middag? Good afternoon. Or is it evening for Marja? And for those who have joined, you're not completely alone. Already 14 people in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Awesome that you guys are already so early in the stream. If you hear crackling, let me know. Use @AMS Live in your message in the chat. I want to know. I listened back yesterday. I think it was a faulty wire or something, even though visually everything looked to be okay. So if you are hearing crackling, let me know, because then I would need to do more extensive testing. My DJI mic uses 3.5mm jacks for the transmitter and the receiver, and I use a lavalier like with a wire to do the voiceover with. So if you're hearing something with respect to crackling, let me know. This was Delta Airlines Flight 134, and if all is well, we should be in time for both a Suparna Queen that is expected to land on the center runway, and the SLM A340 should be landing here. Its ETA is within half an hour. In the meantime, good morning to all who have joined. Guilherme, hello. Dalen, good morning. Jur, good morning, mate. Olaf, good morning. Peter James, good morning. So this is what the current status quo is like. It is early. I'm not completely alone. There are some people walking their dog already. So we have a lad over there with his dog, and also somebody who I recognize by the color of his jacket, a Japanese looking Mr. bit elderly who was also here yesterday, and he's sitting at the same exact location as yesterday. Jaap, goedemorgen, and good morning to all others who have joined. So the weather is drifting in from the west. That's where the area of rain is expected from later in the morning. I did see Gary Grebe here already. Now I don't. Chris Coot is here. And this is EasyJet flight 23851. Hey there, Stroopwafel Aviation, good morning. Yeah, early bird catches the worm. No idea until when we can stream before we have to wrap up, before rain starts to come in. Fingers crossed. E2 Embraer 195 going to center. Don't know exactly what that one is. The labels are overlapping. Oh, look at this, cute. A duck with ducklings. That is so sweet. 4 ducklings, and what a beautiful mama. Oh, don't get too far behind. That is so sweet. Let's see, KLM flight 1418 is next to arrive. E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Nantes. Hey there, dag en niet. Vroege start indeed. Rain is expected, or at least it looks like they're expecting the rain earlier than I thought it was going to happen. I was hoping for somewhere between 12 and 1, but now I'm not too sure. Let's have a quick look. So, looking on the KNMI website, which I think is always most accurate when it comes to where actually rain is at. You can already see somewhere over the Gulf of Yorkshire there is already an area of precipitation and it is coming this way. So what time it is going to actually begin to rain over here, I don't know, but sooner rather than later, I'm afraid. Next up, a pair of Embraers to both runways. Over here we have KLM flight 1150 arriving from Trondheim. That's an E2 Embraer 195, and somewhere over there, if I can find the airplane, which I'm not, too small, E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Bologna. ETA of the A340 is 107, so we should be perfectly in time to see it land here. Suparna should be going to the center runway since it is approaching from the east, but you never know. So once it does get into Dutch airspace, could you guys have a look and see what runway it will be assigned to? Because you never know, we might get lucky. Good morning, James S. I think I have heard about this dude. There is a dude, a Dutch guy who makes a living off of YouTube, and he makes the craziest roller coaster tycoon fun fairs and whatnot. The world's longest roller coaster ride and whatnot. I think he has several 100,000 subscribers or something. There you go, the power of YouTube. It's amazing that people can make their living with stuff like that. Unthinkable decades ago. E2 Embraer 195 KLM flight 1150 arriving from Trondheim. Full as well, we are also going to see the firefighters. I assure you they haven't done their round yet since I have arrived on the scene. I only saw one of the bird control vehicles, and that is it. And this is KLM flight 1660 and Embraer 190 going to arriving from Bologna. Manzi, good morning, mate. Welcome back. Hope all is well. Ronald, goedemorgen. Good to see you, mate. Welcome back to you too. Biancox asks, what time will you be finishing today? I think as soon as it starts to rain, which I don't know yet when that will be. If you look on the weather radar, and I showed you before, there is an area of precipitation drifting in from the west over the North Sea, as some still call it, but we over here call it the Gulf of Yorkshire. It is expected to arrive here in the Netherlands later in the morning. What time exactly? Time will tell. And that's the beginning of a lengthy period of rain. Now, the silver lining is that yesterday, at least, I looked, and this morning too, and it looks now that for tomorrow, the Sunday, the morning hours will go by dry. Rain is expected to fall in the night and in the early morning, and come 9 o'clock, it is expected to stay dry again, or to become dry again, and then maybe showers later in the afternoon. So I think maybe I can just go and stick with the original streaming hours, the normal streaming hours for tomorrow. Hey there, Izzy, good morning. and all others who have joined in the meantime, a good early morning to you. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and this is KLM Flight 1302, arriving from Gdansk in Poland, and Embraer 190, which is going to the center runway. Parallel arrivals have begun. Started around 7:40. If I recall correctly, it's now expected to stay parallel arrivals until approximately 9:20. Next airplane to arrive to the center runway is an A350 arriving from Taipei, and over here something that will give you the cramps if you are gluten intolerant. Hey Bill J, good morning mate, welcome back, hope all is well. Chinese A350, and let's have a quick look on flight radar to see what is in store. So this is the area of precipitation that is slowly but surely drifting in. And flight radar tells us that Suparna is probably already on the glide slope to the wrong runway, and SLM is approaching in minutes from now. Other than that, the Orange Pride is expected 10:27. Not sure if we'll still be around by then, or if it has begun to rain already by then. I'm assuming that Suparna is on the glide slope to center. Let me zoom out. Yeah, now third to arrive, as expected. And this is China Airlines Flight 73 arriving from Taipei. Eddie, goedemorgen. Connie, good morning. Early riser indeed. Here to catch some worms. Yeah, because as you can see, it is going to rain. There is the area of rain at the horizon. It is slowly but surely coming this way. And it looked like it was going to rain sooner rather than later compared with what I had hoped for. Which is why I did my utmost best to get out of my house and back to the Polderbaan as quickly as possible to catch as many minutes of today's dry weather that is feasible. Now let's see, somewhere back there Suparna should be approaching to center though, mind you, but that was to be expected. I'm actually trying to look if I can spot it already. Still can't, which is a bit odd because with current weather conditions you'd think it wouldn't be too difficult to spot. Hey, Cannon Chef Chris, good morning. And Connie is tuning in from Stockholm. Good morning, Connie. Not sure if I already said hi. Welcome to all others who have joined in the meantime as well. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. SLM A340 is expected to land here on this runway in minutes, and the next airplane after this one to center, and there it is Suparna. So she was in the clouds, that's why we weren't able to see her. Adi Gert, goedemorgen. Crossy, good morning. Crossy is tuning in from Manchester, or as we call it, Personchester. I think it was Jen Drusick who said that that lies right next to Wokeshire. So there you go. That's how we roll here. Absolutely awake. Not woke, but awake. Or at least after having finished my coffee, I will be. Bill J says 142, Delta 142 from Seattle should be arriving soon. Enough time to get the earplugs. Speaking of which, is anybody hearing any crackling? I wasn't hearing anything when monitoring, and walking about and fiddling a little bit. I wasn't hearing anything, so I hope you guys are also enjoying a crackling free stream thus far. If there is crackling, let me know. Howdy Robin, goedemorgen. Early bird catches the worm before the rain starts. Catch some planes first. This is Suparna Airlines. Flight 87413 arriving from Nanjing in China. And this is a 747-400 freighter. This particular one is already 33 years old. She began flying as a professional airplane in August 1991, and that's exactly the month I turned 9. So much I have already seen and done in the meantime, let alone what this airplane has already traveled. Alright, this was our little appetizer. It's a quad squad member but going to the wrong runway. Pretty soon we should be seeing our own quad squad member landing on the right runway. SLM A340 600, operated by USC, should be arriving pretty soon. No crackling, sound is perfect. Thanks Jörg, thanks Bill. Sound is good. Sounds great. Thank you, Chris and Olaf. Hey, Lauwe, goedemorgen. No, I wasn't fishing. I'm a vegetarian. I don't fish for a hobby. Herding animals for a hobby is not my cup of tea. Although I have seen fishermen on my way over here, fishing in other canals. Now, just trying to catch a few airplanes before the remainder of the day is going to be wet and rainy. Looked like it was going to rain earlier than I thought it was yesterday evening before going to bed. Set the alarm an hour earlier, but just didn't snooze as long, didn't take a lot of time to wake up slowly. So that I could be here as quickly as possible. A very warm welcome to all who have joined in the meantime. Per, goedemorgen, good morning. Scott, good morning. And all others who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are here at Polderbaan. Parallel arrivals have begun. The Red Wine Express is returning from Bordeaux in the 737-900, landing on Polderbaan next. And this is KLM flight 808, which is arriving from Taipei in Taiwan. 7879 Dreamliner. So yeah, there's an area of rain coming this way. Expected to begin, the precipitation is expected to begin later in the morning already. Now, let's see. The SLM is turning in. SLM is turning in. That's 1, 2, 3. It's now 4th to arrive, with 3 narrow bodies preceding it. Glide slope shots not very well possible. The cloudiness is interfering somewhat. Or at least it's either that or I am still half asleep and am not seeing any other airplanes that are approaching. It's a pity because there are a lot of wide bodies now approaching on the center runway. Pity that they aren't landing here. Now we will get the American invasion from Delta and American Airlines and Air Canada and whatnot pretty soon. Oh, 777 to Mumbai is passing overhead, huh? No, wait, that's just a hiccup in flight radar. Or is it? No, yeah. Huh? My flight radar is acting up with respect to the 777 arrival from Mumbai. But that's okay. That's allowed. Embraer 190 arriving from Alessand is coming this way. And over there we have, well, I don't know what it is. Probably KLM flight 878 arriving from Mumbai. All over the place. In the meantime, a massive big thank you to Bill J, who already went ahead and gifted 5 AMS Live memberships just now. Mate, thank you so much for your generosity, Bill. You really didn't have to do that, but you went ahead and did it anyway. A warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge to those new members who just received a gifted membership from Bill. Enjoy your custom emojis. Don't forget to say thank you to Bill. And Bill, mate, thank you so much for your generosity once again. I think, even though flight radar is acting up a little bit, I think this is KLM flight 878 arriving from Mumbai, the PHBVU. 8 hours and 30 minutes on the way to get here. 7-year-old airplane, first flight September 2017. In the meantime, a very good morning to all who have joined. Mike Romeo, good morning. Raven Rock, good morning. Peter K, good morning, mate. Welcome back. Welcome to all others who have joined. An early show, even earlier than I yesterday already announced, because the rain that is expected later in the morning was looking to arrive earlier than I thought it would. Waking up this morning and having a look at at the weather radar. Silver lining of starting so early is that we already saw the arrival of the Suparna 747 and that we are going to see the arrival of the SLM A340 in a couple of minutes. In fact, I think we ought to be able to see it. Well, normally speaking, we would be able to see it because it is now number 2. Let me also crouch behind the laptop. Does that improve visibility? The answer is no, it doesn't. Makes no difference at all. Hey there, Jacqueline. Hey there, Sander. Goedemorgen, good morning. Right. Last sip of vodka, and there is the A340. No, last sip of coffee, and now it is time for vodka, I should say. I meant to say. Right. And it is crabbing a little bit. Even though it isn't very windy yet, the wind is expected to pick up later in the day, and it is expected to be from the southwest. In other words, crosswind arrivals. This is Surinam flight 994 arriving from Paramaribo in Surinam. And this is an A340-600, the DAUS. That's Delta Alpha Uniform Sierra Zulu. 21 years old, this one. First flight was in December 2003. Mukje Muk says in Dutch, I hope that runway use is changing today. Flying with TUI with the 7878. Don't count on it, mate. I think we are going to have southwesterly wind today, the entire day, and tomorrow too. So I'm not expecting any runway use changes today or tomorrow. But you are flying with the Dreamliner today. That's a nice thing to look forward to. SLM flight 994 arriving from Paramaribo, our first Quad Squad member here in the show, landing on the right runway. Several custom emojis that you can use. And Jörg is the first to do so. Hey, Wolfgang, Servus, all is well. Hope everything is okay with you as well, mate. Perfect timing. You need to spool up those reversers. What is up? What is up with that? Bill asks if Captain Jerry has even awakened. Well, I think he is awake. He was commenting on a few posts and I saw those notifications when I was awake already this morning, so I think he should be awake. And indeed, a decent crab, Manzi, absolutely. Wind also now for the first time beginning to feel like it is picking up a little bit. Crosswindy arrivals expected for today. Right, so that was the SLM. Next airplane of interest, I think, is the Orange Pride with an ETA of 10:30 or so. Let's have another look on flight radar. So the Queen, Suparna Queen and SLM have already landed. We have Jesus flying to Mykonos in Greece, off to the sun. Yeah, KLM flight 104, the Orange Pride returning from Cape Town, South Africa. 10 hours and 10:25 is its ETA, and the Emirates is flying over Iran with an ETA of 109. Don't think we'll be around for that to see. A refresh tells us this is the past hour. This is the area of rain that is coming in. So we are going to see rain later in the morning. Hadi Martin, goedemorgen. This is KLM flight 1642, arriving from Genoa, and Embraer 190. Hey there, Roger. Good morning. Theo, goedemorgen. Good morning. Good morning, one and all. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing here at Polderbaan. Primary runway for arrivals today. The A340 making its way back to the gates. In the center of the field of view, you can see a windsock which is beginning to pick up a little bit. Parallel arrivals in progress. KLM flight 1362, arrival from Budapest. It's making its way over to the center runway. 737-800. Hey there, Ray. Good morning. Eduardo, good morning. And welcome to the show, all others who might have joined. So glide slope shots are not the best yet. Hopefully that is going to improve. But then again, it might not, since the area of rain is also coming in from the west. You can see it at the horizon already a little bit. It is dark to the west. That's where slowly but surely rain is coming from. Later in the morning it is expected. What time precisely it's going to begin remains to be seen. For now we'll just continue filming and see how far along we can get. This is KLM flight 910 arriving from Aberdeen, and you already saw it. A Delta A330 behind it. Delta Airlines flight 48, arriving from New York, JFK. There it is. It too, slightly crabbing. Hope the stream is still crackling free. I think it might have been a contact of the DJI mic, which uses 3.5mm jacks. Much more sensitive for crackling than the XLR cable that connects the microphone for the ambient with the camera. If you guys are hearing crackling, let me know. Dirk also in the chat, who says only 10 knots, crosswinds, so not much crabbing. Well, if you compare it with the A340, this is not very much indeed. Then again, the wind is expected to pick up, as it usually does later as the morning progresses, and also as the area of rain gets closer by, so hopefully things will pick up a little bit more. It's always a bit more calm in the beginning of the day. This is Delta Airlines, flight 48, arriving from New York, JFK. Reversers? Question mark? Yes, a little bit. Come on, don't be shy. Michael, goedemorgen. And all others who have joined in the meantime, good morning. Thanks for the feedback, Mike Romeo. As soon as you guys start hearing crackling, let me know. Wolfgang, also thank you for the feedback. For those of you joining us only later, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. Early start because rain is expected later in the morning. Prolonged period of rain. Now, the silver lining is that as it stands right now, tomorrow morning, it should be dry again from 9 o'clock or something. So if all is well, I should be able to do my regular streaming hours again tomorrow, instead of having to resort to an afternoon stream, which I said yesterday was my plan. That's plan B. If it is possible to do regular streaming hours, that would be my preferred plan A. This is KLM flight 922, arriving from Edinburgh. A 737-800. Flight time 1 hour and 2 minutes. The PHBXD, Bravo X-Ray Delta. Already a millennial, hailing from the previous millennium. First flight August 1999. Making this airplane 25 years old. Good morning to German Monster. And good morning, ML Riedewald. Good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. Oh, it's still quiet over here. There is a man with a big lens over there, and at the parking lot, everything is still calm. Michael DCA, good morning, mate. And welcome to the show, all others who might have joined already in the meantime. If you joined us only just now, you might have missed the landing of a Surinam A340. The Surinam A340 landed here a couple of minutes past 8, 10 minutes ago or something. This is an Embraer 170 flying on behalf of KLM, so without even clicking on its label on Flight Radar, we can already determine it has to be a Britty hopper. Eastern Airways flies with Embraer 170s. KLM does not have these in their fleet. They have Embraer 175s, but not Embraer 170s. Left from Leeds 47 minutes ago. It is an Embraer 170 long range though, mind you, so this one can travel. It has been traveling now for 20 years. Somewhere in 2005, this airplane began its career as a professional airplane. So yeah, the Suparna Queen landed at center. A couple of minutes after that, we saw the SLM A340-600 land here. Next airplane of interest should be the Orange Pride arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. Or actually, I should say the Orange Pride arriving from Cape Town, South, because that's what you are all hearing in your mind by now. So let's also do it then. Another Britty Hopper Embraer 190 is flying in the center. Interestingly, arriving from Humberside, so from the west. Good morning Bas, good morning Peter. Paul, goedemorgen. Diana, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, all others who might have joined in the meantime. Early bird catches the worm. While it is still dry, rain is expected, and it's expected sooner rather than later. You can already see darkness at the horizon. It's slowly but surely drifting in, and I'm not sure how long we are able to stream. So when I saw this morning, I went out as quickly as I could and started even earlier than I had already announced the stream. Silver lining of which was that we were able to see the A340 land here on Polderbaan, and we also saw the Suparna 747, which landed on center. Ray says, hope it's dry until 12. I'm not sure that it will. Which is exactly why I went out as quickly as I could, because there's absolutely rain coming, and unfortunately these are not showers. This is going to be a lengthy area. Hey, interesting to see that American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philly is also going to the wrong runway. What is going on here? Hey, Latam Cargo 767 just turned in and is now third to land here on the Polderbaan. So we are going to see Latam Cargo in a few moments. Delta 142, Bill, it's going to the wrong runway. It is flying parallel to Latam Cargo going to the centered runway. We won't be needing our earplugs from that distance. What? So this is American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia, but it's going to the wrong runway. Bastards. Air France in the meantime landing here in the foreground. Squeaky brakes. It's not just Embraers. What the fudge, indeed. Bill asks, no mother duckers? Well, speaking of which, we have two coots that are bickering. Is that good enough for you, Bill? Do they really have to be ducks? We did see a mama duck with 4 ducklings earlier, swimming to the south. Not seeing her anymore. I did catch it. Not sure if you were around already to see it. In the meantime, good morning Leo, good morning Kevin, Nick's Aviation, good morning. Right, so we have a KLM 737 and then a Latam Cargo. Definitely a little crabbing going on there. Latam Cargo 767. Arriving from Miami. Miami, happy that we are able to do a few hours of streaming while it is still dry. Daniel, goedemorgen. Latam Cargo flight 3606 operated by Latam Cargo Colombia. Arriving from Miami. 8 hours and 13 minutes on the way, the November 536 Latin America. Lima Alpha. This 767 is 23 years old. First flight was in October 2001. And Delta Airlines flight 142 arriving from Bill's Seattle, Washington is flying parallel to it. Going to the wrong runway. Bastards. Good morning, Steve Hathaway. And good morning to all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. Early stream to catch as many airplanes before the rain starts to fall. Silver lining is that as it stands right now, tomorrow morning it is going to be dry again from 9 o'clock or something. So if all is well, looking the way it is right now, I'm going to be able to do a stream during regular streaming hours tomorrow morning. I will check again, of course, and I'll announce the stream probably tonight, locally tonight, like I did yesterday with today's stream. Kablamo. Reverse up. Come on. You know you want to. Such a shame. There's another one getting away, Bill. Delta Airlines flight 142 arriving from Seattle, Washington. You could have been on board this plane, Bill. That could have been you shining the light from one of those windows, or maybe you're flying in business up front. Hey Kjell, good morning. Yeah, so that's a pity. Big picture overview, this is what it currently looks like. This is looking to the north. And the area of rain is coming in from the west. Now interestingly, more darkness coming this way, but at the horizon above the high rises you can see sky looks to be brighter, so I'm not sure what is up with that. This is looking to the east. This is looking to the south. This is weather that already has passed by. Unfortunately, we need to look to the west to see what is coming this way. Oh, duck. That was Donald landing there. I wonder if he is the father and Daisy and the ducklings are also over there. The mama duck that I saw earlier. That would be nice. You're right, Wolfgang. If Bill were on board, he would have landed at the Polderbaan. Maria says that the early announcements are appreciated so we can adjust our daily schedules. Yeah. I'll try to announce as early as possible, as much as I can from now on. I think it also helps to notify more people. Hopefully it'll result in more viewers. Now, although the channel is growing, I am very ambitious and don't think it is growing nearly fast enough. So I'll try everything I can to get things moving more rapidly. One of the downsides I think also is just that streams like these are a bit dull, where there's just one direction of traffic continuously. In that respect, I'm really jealous of people who are able to stream at other airports where you can see inbound, outbound. We did used to have P3, and that allows you apron action, inbound traffic, outbound traffic. Also gives you more of an international airport vibe. Of course here this looks very rural. It's just a single runway out in grass fields with farmland next to it and animals where sometimes big planes land and a lot of Embraers and 737s. Bill is giving us a warning. Lock the doors. The bank robbers are coming. No, we're running out of money. The sun is up already, and already at this time, it is now 8:29 a.m. local time. It is already higher than it is at the peak in the during the shortest day of the month. During the shortest day of the year, the shortest day of the year, the sun does not get above 15 degrees above the horizon, and this is already, I would say, 30, 35, 40. Chris Good is over there at the Concrete Peninsula. And this is KLM flight 1916 arriving from Zurich, a 737-800. Flying parallel to it, KLM flight 566, which is a 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Nairobi. Nairobi in Kenya, which is in... Just had to do it, you know. Just look at the pitch of the elevators. That's trim. That's a landing configuration where already the whole surface is downward pointing. Now obviously they still have the controls which influence the angle of the ladder part of the elevators. But the entire elevator was already pointing down, and that is trim. Makes that the pilots have to input less than otherwise would be the case. Eftel Boy, good morning. René, goedemorgen. Willem, goedemorgen. Arnold, goedemorgen. Good morning, goedemorgen. The gentleman with the big lens is continuing further to the north to make more undoubtedly beautiful pictures. He looks like a guy who is able to make nice pictures with his equipment. Peter K says there will be 2 more parallel landings. I think probably more, right? Usually the parallel arrivals last until 9:20 or so. Or are they going to briefly shut the central runway and reopen it again? Now there's only one runway for inbound traffic from 9 until 11, 9:20 until 11, right? It's probably going to continue with parallel arrivals until 9:20. Pinkvark, goedemorgen. Parallel A321 Neos from KLM. That is nice. Karsten, guten Morgen, good morning. Jammer, goedemorgen. B.E. Kerk, goedemorgen, good morning. Willem, no, I set my alarm an hour earlier. I already wanted to begin early today with the rain expected later in the morning. And when I woke up this morning and I saw that the rain was already closer by than I thought it was going to be, I hurried the F up to get out of here as quickly as I could, just to make sure that we could do as many minutes of live streaming and see as many planes land as possible. Silver lining is that we were able to see the A340 land here on the Polderbaan, and a couple of minutes prior to that we did see the Surinam 747 landing on the center runway. Right now, KLM flight 702 is coming this way. It is a 7879 Dreamliner, arriving from Buenos Aires, which is in Latin America. And a little to the north lies the country called... But you guys already knew that. This airplane has been flying for 12 hours and 49 minutes to get here. The Papa Hotel, Bravo Hotel Lima. And let me see if I can quickly make it to the computer to massively thank Karsten. Karsten just now went ahead, gifted 5 memberships. Welcome to the Aurora Skylounge, new members. Enjoy your custom emojis that you now have at your disposal for a month. 32 of them, including the new one, Firefighters. Karsten, thank you so much for your generosity. Vielen Dank. Hope that everybody who received a gifted membership from you will thank you for it. And will enjoy the membership and the custom emojis. Welcome to the Skylounge, new members. And thank you once again, Karsten, for your generosity. Bokke, it is then. Eddie, goedemorgen, good morning. Paul, goedemorgen, good morning. RL, goedemorgen, good morning. JetBlue is on the glide slope to the center runway. Milan, good morning. Let's see, this is KLM flight 1028 arriving from Persenchester, 737-800. JetBlue arriving from New York JFK is also behind it. It's interesting that quite a few airplanes that are arriving from the west are being led to the center runway instead of landing on the Polderbaan, which ordinarily you would expect. Howdy Klaas, goedemorgen. Good to see you, mate. Hope the back pain is a little better. So yeah, it is a day where the sun is only bleakly shining from behind clouds and looking to the west. More dense clouds are drifting in. Now luckily at the horizon things are still a bit light, so I'm cautiously optimistic that these are just a bit denser clouds and not yet containing any rain. Rain is expected later though. Let's have a quick look, see what we can expect. So this is the Dutch Met Office, KNMI, and a refresh. This shows us the rain from the past hour. You can see it is a little bit dissolving and it is moving in very slowly, but somewhere later in the morning I am expecting things to no longer stay dry here. In the meantime, JetBlue, arriving from New York, is over there on its way to the center runway. JetBlue in their standard livery and not in the wannabe ETA blue. Howdy Mark, goedemorgen. Lord Andrew, good morning. Verge Brains, good morning. Welcome to the show, all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing here at Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Oh, mustn't bump into my tripod leg. Unless I want you guys to get dizzy. All white Britty Hopper, Embraer 190, arriving from Bristol. And this is one of 2 airplanes in KLM, currently still in KLM's fleet in the SkyTeam livery. This is a 737-900. The other airplane that is in this livery is an Embraer 190. And this one is arriving from Bergen. Hey, Tui is coming, arriving from Oranjestad, Aruba. Happy to hear that, Klaas. Best way to get rid of lower back pain is to keep moving normally as much as possible and use painkillers to stop from not moving because of pain. Whether it is a herniated disc or not, it doesn't matter. You cannot invoke any more damage to your back. It's just a matter of keeping things moving, keep the blood flowing. That is the best way to recover from lower back pain. E2 Umbrella 195, KLM flight 1074 is coming in next. No, wait, that's already landed. This is the E2 Umbrella 195, arrived from Nice, which is nice. KLM flight 1472. Big compartment for mothers-in-laws. Right there, no windows. But they don't need it. They can just lie and sleep during the whole flight. Vodka helps as well. You're absolutely right, Bill. Albeit with moderation, of course. You need more if you're doing live streams, but if you're trying to get rid of back pain, moderate consumption of vodka also helps. I'm a bit disappointed to say that KLM flight 602 arriving from LAX, which is also arriving from the west, now flying behind this TUI Dreamliner, but on the glide slope to the central runway. Martino, good morning. Skating Banana, good morning. Gabapentin, yeah, that might also help. That is a good suggestion. You will have to get a recipe, a prescription from your doctor. There are some medications, gabapentin being one of them, that particularly help if the pain is caused by nerves, such as with a herniated disc. Gabapentin, sometimes even antidepressants, amitriptyline reportedly also helps with some. These are all, of course, prescription medication that you need a prescription for. This is KLM flight 602, arriving from LAX, 787-10 Dreamliner, unfortunately going to the wrong runway. Bill needs the number to the Schiphol Tower. What we need to do is congregate with torches and pitchforks. Go over to LVNL. What the fudge are you guys doing? Now the silver lining is that from this angle we can have a look at the side of the airplane pretty well, and also extensively, better than when if it landed here. Try to see the positive in it. Peter, goedemorgen. Chinchulo, good morning. Daniel, goedemorgen. Bram, goedemorgen, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. In the meantime, KLM 737 landed here, flight 1510, arriving from Barcelona. As long as the image stabilizer on the camera works, more vodka, Wolfgang says. I'm filming without still. I'm not even to the point that we're in need of using the image stabilizer. Now, image stabilizer has its ups and also its downs. Sometimes when you move, it gets it gets a delayed response, and it sometimes overshoots both horizontally and vertically. It's sometimes hard to control the camera, and you sometimes overshoot where you want the camera to point to. Most direct is, of course, no image stabilizer, which I prefer. But sometimes during windy conditions, it does reduce vibrations. Absolutely it does. So even when working with a tripod, even though people, they always say that you shouldn't be using image stabilizer when filming from a tripod, I can tell you that is utter nonsense. if you're standing here shooting on long focal lengths and it is windy, and people who already have visited me in person know that I fixate my tripod with guy wires into the ground so that I can kick at it and it still won't fall. It's not going to fall, it's not going to topple over, not even during a storm. I can leave it unattended and I know it's not going to fall, never ever. But still, you cannot mitigate the vibrations from strong winds. It's also the reason I have now resorted to using the blimp full time, just because I don't want the microphone on my camera reduce the surface area as much as possible so that my camera is susceptible to the wind as least as possible. No vodka yet explains why the picture is so shaky, Peter says. Yeah, that's the withdrawals. Better take in some vodka than stat. Now, this is an EasyJet A319 arriving from Milan, and another 787 is going to the wrong runway. KLM flight 678 arriving from Calgary is now behind the Air Baltic A220 that is flying parallel to this airplane to the center runway. Those bastards are continuously screwing with us. All the interesting planes now are going to the wrong runway. Marco, goedemorgen. Peter asks in Dutch if I can tell him where I announce my streams. Well, if you are subscribed and you hit the bell icon for notification and you turn on all the notifications, you should receive a notification whenever I announce a new stream. And if you look in my live stream section, when I have announced the stream, you can find it there, and it says the expected time it will begin. Michael DCA has to go. That's a pity, mate. Thanks for stopping by. Mother effers. Now also a 777-200 arriving from San Francisco. What is up with ATC? Those bastards are letting all the wide bodies land on center. That is just... What is going on here with the tower? They're letting all the interesting airplanes go to the wrong runway. Bastards. So yeah, in the meantime over here we get Air France and Embraer 190. Yawn. Somebody get me some coffee, I'm falling asleep again. This is boring. Why are the interesting planes, the wide bodies, going to the wrong runway? No, Delta Airlines flight 46 arriving from New York, behind it. Also, what is going on here? This is really annoying. I think you're right, Ray. Somebody in the tower hates me. This is looking like a conspiracy, isn't it? All the wide bodies arriving from the west. On paper, normally 9 out of 10 times they go to the westernmost runway. That's this one. Why are they all being directed to center? Other nonsense. Other nonsense. Shorter taxi time. Yeah, but why would those wide bodies be given priority to the narrow bodies? It's racism. It's airplane racism. This is a demonstration of LVNL being racist and are basically discriminating against small airplanes. They're already slim, they're already trimmed down. These are fat wide bodies they can use to do some extra movement. And instead they are being directed to the runway closest by to the gate. It's the wide bodies that can use to lose that need to lose some additional weight, burn some more calories. So Delta Airlines flight 46. Arriving from New York, JFK, A330-300, going to the wrong runway. Motorcycle on the road behind me, making some noise. Right, and in the meantime, KLM flight 1928 arriving from Geneva is landing over here, E2 Embraer 195. Interesting theory there, Jörg, who says ATC sends the wide bodies to center and the narrow bodies to Polderbaan so that the plane shape is equal size on screen. That might be a I don't need them to think along and how to portray the airplanes in my streams. I can think for myself. This is EasyJet A320neo arriving from Gatwick. Flying parallel to it is a Bombardier C-Series 200, no 300, A220, Bulgaria arriving from Sofia. And one welcome to all who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing here at Polderbaan where arrivals take place. Parallel arrivals are in progress until approximately 9:20. If you joined us later, you may have missed the landing of the Surinam A340-600 already, which took place, I think, between 8:05 and 8:10 a.m. this morning. We're beginning early because, we began early because there is rain expected later in the morning. Not sure what time it is going to rain here, but it will be pretty soon. I think we won't be able to make it until noon, although I do hope we will. It's an extended area of rain, so there's no waiting it out until later. It's either in the morning a stream and begin earlier, or there wouldn't have been a stream to begin with, or only a very, very short one. So I'm trying to max out the duration by beginning early. Now, for tomorrow, things look a bit better than they did yesterday. Right now, it looks like tomorrow from 9 o'clock or something, it is going to be dry. It's going to rain overnight from 9 a.m. or so. And I think until somewhere in the mid-afternoon, it's going to stay dry, if that is turning out to come true. That means that tomorrow I can probably do a stream during regular streaming hours. Yesterday I was announcing I might resort to an afternoon stream, start a few hours later than normally would have been the case. That's only a plan B if it is necessary. If it isn't necessary, I prefer to do a stream during my normal streaming hours. And it looks like that is going to be a possibility. I'll check again tonight. I'll see that I'll see to it that I will announce tomorrow's stream tonight. MidKS, good morning. Peter, good morning. Peter Petit. Good morning. And good morning to all others who have joined. Welcome to the show. Elizabeth, good morning. Welcome back. Hope all is well. So yeah, If all is well, we should be able to do another stream during regular streaming hours tomorrow. Wind is blowing from the southwest, and the same is expected for tomorrow. Wind now has begun to pick up. I think we can also maybe have another look at the meter. Wind was calm, and from the south, back in the beginning of the stream, things are picking up and it is becoming a bit more crosswindy. This is KLM flight 946 arriving from Belfast in Northern Ireland. Touching down right now. Let's have a quick look before the next airplane is going to land here, what the meter is now saying. Oh! Accidentally pressed on the spacebar, which I have assigned to the wait music. This is what it was in the beginning, and this is what it is now. The wind has picked up to 11 degrees, to 11 knots. It is still pretty much southerly wind. The wind is expected to become more southwesterly as the day progresses. We now have few clouds at 1600 feet, so it is no longer KVK. Believe it or not, at the beginning of the stream we did have KVK. This is the Dutch Met Office website, and this is their last hour map of the rain. We're standing approximately over here. The rain is coming. How quickly it is going to arrive here and when the rain is actually going to begin, we'll have to see. Let me quickly paste the meter in the ticker for you guys, and then it is back to the camera controls. There is a somewhat crabby Embraer 190 coming this way. Where's that an Embraer 175? I'm just looking at what I see in the background on my computer screen. Yeah, that's an Embraer 190, alright. Arriving from Inverness in Scotland. Flight 900. Patrick, goedemorgen. Amelie, goedemorgen. Jos, goedemorgen. Good morning. Jos asks about the expected runway configuration come 2 p.m. this day. 5 minutes to 2. I'm expecting both the Polderbaan and the central runway to be open. 5 minutes past 2. I'm expecting just the Polderbaan to be open for arrivals. There's always 2 runways open for arrivals between 1 and 2 p.m. So around 2 o'clock, depending on whether they transition early or late, you'll have Polderbaan open and maybe also the center runway. But 2 p.m. is still at the tipping point where they're closing down the secondary runway, usually. Matt 70, goedemorgen. Ronald, goedemorgen. And welcome to the show, all others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing here at the Polderbaan, where the airplanes are beginning to crab a little bit. I'm expecting more crabbiness later. Also, let's have a look. Here we have Austrian, but the word wolf is still not on it. Bastards. It almost looks like this is a special livery, the Latvian flag livery. Austrian Airlines in the Latvian flag livery. And this is KLM flight 1522. Embraer Power Hour. Embraer Power Hour. Hopefully pretty soon we are going to see more wide bodies again. In the meantime, I see that we have crossed 200 likes. I think that might have led Jörg, aka JD, to start gifting memberships. 5 gifted memberships, courtesy of Jörg, aka JD. Jörg, you didn't have to do that, you know that. Thank you so much for your generosity nonetheless. That is very kind and generous of you. I hope that everybody who receives a gifted membership from you will thank you for it. Say thank you or dankeschön. Vielen Dank. Oder so etwas. etwas. I'm so focused on speaking English, my German even starts to sound with an English accent. That's not good. Jörg, thank you so much for your generosity and welcome to the Skylines new members. New Emirates flight 145 is going to the wrong runway. It is a 777-300 and it's flying behind this E2 Embraer 195, which is arriving from Valencia. Okay. Still a little itch in my throat sometimes when I speak too much. Well, I speak a lot, not too much necessarily. Jörg is also celebrating. He's not just handing out memberships, but he is also celebrating his own membership. 21 months. That means 3 more months to go before turning blue. Yeah, so being a member at AMS Live, you progress from being white to being black. And then you'll start to see red with anger. And then your liver is starting to fail and you'll turn yellow. Then you'll be nauseous for a year, just like Jörg is still. 3 more months of nausea, being green, and then you're running out of oxygen and you'll turn blue for another year. It's the happy progression of being a member at AMS Live. Jörg, thank you so much for your continued support as a member, and of course the many memberships that you have gifted over the last couple of months. Well, couple of. That was K2 also chiming in with sound effects. Jörg, I hope you still like being a member. Thank you so much for all the support. Congratulations on 21 months. Hopefully we'll be able to celebrate you turning blue in a good way in 3 months from now. Hit me up if something in this lounge is running low and I'll put it on the groceries list. Thank you so much for all the support and all the fun, and of course all the fun whenever you come to visit. Jörg has visited now 3 or 4 times already, I think. Coming all the way over from Düsseldorf. I'm always very honored that you take the effort to drive across the border all the way to Schiphol. In the meantime, good morning to all who have joined. Sean, good morning. Darash, good morning. And now we have to wait a little. There's a frog in my throat. Another A321neo KLM flight 1600 arriving from Rome. Good morning, sweetie. And good morning to all others who have joined. Painter Girl, good morning. Right, wind is picking up a little bit. Might have to resort to using image stabilizer pretty soon. I'm happy to hear that, Jörg, and it's always a pleasure whenever you come around and visit in person. So yeah, this is where the rain is coming from later today. It looks a bit grim, looks a lot less grim looking to the east. Next airplane coming in is over there. That is Swiss, an Embraer 195, arriving from Zurich. With all the wind here, it's also time to re-invite the elephant back into the room. Yeah, so we're a month away from the longest day here on the Northern Hemisphere. Well, even less now, I think. Still standing here with my winter parka on, and I still get a runny nose because of the relatively low temperature we have right now. Then again, I already streamed in my shorts and t-shirt a couple of weeks ago, so we also had that. It's not all doom and gloom and negativity. Now, I'm also thrilled to say that after this arrival, we are going to see the second 767 already. Latam Cargo was the first, and United Flight 20 arriving from Houston in Texas will be next after this. Hey there, Avisteria, you have missed Quack Quack. Daisy swam by here earlier with 4 little ducklings. Absolutely beautiful. In the meantime, over here also more wide bodies. Let's not digress too much and focus on the wide body that is now flying to quote-unquote our runway. This is United Airlines, or United, arriving from Houston in Texas, or Houston as I call it. 767-300 or ER as it is supposed to be said. 9 hours and 7 minutes on the way. Registration is the November 656 Uniform Alpha. The airplane is 32 years old. Its first flight was in December 1992. December 1992. I had turned 10 a couple of months prior to that. "32 years old already, United Flight 20. It has had a nose job, interestingly. Yes, reversers. That's what we want to hear. Absolutely lovely. Right. Wanch Singh says good morning, good morning. And Charlene, goedemorgen, good morning. So yeah, the sun is still shining a little bit over there. But if you look at what is coming from the west, you can see we are in for some raininess. The wind on the scale of chimney smoke currently looks like this. The wind is blowing away from us. So the wind looks like it has turned a little bit more to the southwest now. It did look like one of those Angry Birds. That's exactly what it looked like. I thought it looked like something, but I couldn't determine what it was. Angry Birds, indeed. So it is 9:07 a.m. now, and if all is well, in a matter of, what is it, 12, 13 minutes or so, on paper, the center runway should close for arrivals. That should mean that we are going to see all the arrivals to the Polderbaan until approximately 11 o'clock.
And good morning.
And Mr. Sake, goedemorgen.
Hello.
Sander Sake has arrived on the scene.
Hell yeah.
And he has a director's chair. Oh, check it out. Check it out. The director's chair. Awesome. Well, I hope you also brought an umbrella because we are expecting rain. I sometimes get the feeling I'm already starting to feel a small droplet or something.
Oh, yeah. I was actually surprised by that thing.
That yellow orb.
Yeah.
I was also surprised. Yeah.
Oh,
Allegedly,
hey, what's this?
Allegedly it's called the sun.
Hello.
Not sure what it does. I hope it's not going to get angry, but we'll see.
Maybe it'll leave later in the day.
I've got a hunch it's going to leave later today. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, in the meantime, this is KLM flight 1578 arriving from Lisbon, an A321neo. Klaas wonders, heeft hij geen tribune meegenomen? No bleachers, no. No, it's still really quiet over here. With the exception of Sander and me, and I think that man is Japanese. He looks very friendly and he has a big camera and a big lens. Yesterday he was here as well, making pictures. Pretty sure and there are some more people, and here at the parking itself, 2 people are standing there.
Yeah, it's real quiet there.
Yeah, it's real quiet. That was the only, well, and there was this van or something. Yeah, a bus more, a retired bus.
Look how cute this little Coke bottle is.
Oh, how much is in it? 150 milliliters or something?
250.
250?
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah.
A little small Coke bottle, 250 mLs.
Yeah, I was going to the little. I was like, hey, that's cute.
I didn't even know that they sold Coca-Cola at Lidl.
Yeah.
Mind blown. Mind blown. In the meantime, Lisa has also awoken and is in the chat. Goedemorgen. Technically, she is the director. Well, the director at a distance. You were still sleeping as I was quietly sneaking out of the house. Yeah, and rightly so. It was goddamn early. But yeah, it's either that or getting wet because the rain is falling. Hey, check it out, Wolfgang. It is the Austrian livery Air Baltic. And it says here it is arriving from Latvia. Not sure if that's true. Vilnius, I know that's the capital of one of the 3 Baltic states, but my topography is failing me here. Hey Tina, goedemorgen. So yeah, Austrian livery Air Baltic arriving from Vilnius. And Aviation Watch says the Zwanenburgbaan is gonna close. Yeah, that is usually happening around 9:20 a.m. My God, that's usually a half hour before I begin before beginning the stream. Normally speaking.
I was up at 6 o'clock and I was like, oh, okay, doing this and this and this. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, maybe I'll go back to bed because I went pretty late
Yeah.
last night. So I was like, yeah, maybe get your QCs. Ah, let's see what's on YouTube. What the hell, boys?
Yeah, I was also up late, so I haven't caught a lot of Z's last night, but I factored in that it was going to rain before noon, so I figured I'll just do a power nap I'll make up the hour doing a power nap later in the day.
And I actually looked at my phone, at my time, I was like, what? No.
That's what I thought as well initially. Well, it's the getting up that's hard, but once you get out of your bed and you get going, it is actually okay. Particularly since it is already light this time of year, that makes it a lot easier to get going. Qatar arriving from Miami. Another one getting away, but hopefully one of the last. Evan is also back in the chat. Top of the morning, senor. And Martins, good morning. Leo, goedemorgen.
And I brought my new toy.
Your new toy. Oh, the new hey. Now, do you also have a Steadicam or what's it called again? One of those things that you can use to stabilize when you're filming.
Yeah.
I always forget the name.
the like the GoPro thingies. The
Yeah.
CGI,
What's it called?
good one.
It's the thing that you can mount your phone or your camera into, that when you move about, it stabilizes the picture. Gimbal.
Gimbal, yeah.
Gimbal.
Yes.
Nice rack. Gotta hand it to you. You have a nice rack
Yeah.
around your camera.
But
Well, what do you intend to do with it?
well,
Because of course now you can mount all kinds of accessories next to it.
At the moment, its main purpose is just body protection.
Body protection, yeah. Well, that's also a good thing. I had that around my Vespa before it got stolen, and that's really a must-have if you don't want it to get damaged.
Yeah.
Because once it topples over, and sooner or later it will. Those bars are placed strategically so that the body doesn't get damaged. That's also going to happen with that
Yeah.
small rig. Yeah. I think I have one of those dual axle thingies. Initially, I bought it for the monitor that I also have, that I can put on top of my camera to connect it to my camera body. But it makes the surface area even bigger. I already resorted to using the blimp full time just to reduce the surface area, so that my camera is less susceptible to the wind.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the last airplanes to the center runway, and I think they might actually... Are they doing a runway inspection of the Polderbaan? Because I'm not seeing anything on flight radar yet. Coming this way. I think they'll...
Maybe
They'll probably start with an inspection pretty soon, because right now all the traffic is going to the center runway, and it is 9:15, so...
There is, I think,
Yeah, there's movement. There's movement.
there's one coming.
Yeah, so this is the runway inspection of Polderbaan preceding the closure of the center runway. The fact that and the firefighters are also going out. Our new custom emoji, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming from the south today. Nice little coincidence. Andri, good morning. Goedemorgen. Unate, hello. Good morning and thank you. In gimbal indeed. Right, it is the new custom emoji. Our members have already found it. Here they come. Bridge is going to be in the way probably for a better part of their arrival. Not so much the bridge, it's the rail on top of it. Bastards.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Goddamn.
In the meantime, Lisette DB is celebrating 11 months of membership with the Firefighter truck. Yay! Thank you so much for your continued support. 11 months as a member, that's 1 month before turning green. That's the membership progression at AMS Live. After seeing black and white, you'll turn red with envy and anger. Then you'll turn yellow because your liver is failing. Then you'll turn green for a year of nausea. And then you'll asphyxiate and turn blue. Here they come. Before we'll start hearing them, also a big thank you to Klaas for your super chat, who wishes everyone a pleasant weekend, mate. Thank you so much for that. You have a pleasant weekend as well, mate. Now the firefighters are coming. Don't forget to use those custom emojis. Spamming is not allowed, but custom emojis you can use to your heart's desire. This is why we have them. Make some noise! Bumping into the tripod. There we go. Wait for me! Wait for me! Wait for me! Meep meep! Meep meep! Meow! Meow! Meep meep!
Yeah.
Meep meep! Hey there, Gravely Lewis! Welcome to the show, mate! So those were the firefighters. Suzanne, goedemorgen. And let me see if I can still find the message. Buried between the firefighters, Lena Air is celebrating 12 months of membership. She has turned green and is now going to be nauseous for a year. Lena, thank you so much for your support, for your ongoing support. Congratulations. Hope you're going to enjoy being a member in the lounge. Thank you so much for the support. If anything is amiss in the lounge, let me know and let me see what I can do to fix it. A massive, massive big thank you to you, Lena, for your support and congratulations. Now, in the meantime, 2 wide bodies are going to the wrong runway. That is a pity. First of all, a Chinese triple and then a Finnair A350 as well. Piss poor timing of their arrivals, them arriving. They couldn't do another round, a lap around the block and come in a few more minutes later. Sean, Pascal, goedemorgen. Good morning all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We started early here because rain is expected later in the morning. What time it is going to arrive precisely remains to be seen, but it is going to rain pretty soon. I'm not sure that we are going to make it until noon here. This is a Chinese triple arriving from Shanghai in China. China Southern Cargo, a 777 freighter. And in the meantime, a big thank you to Elizabeth Fletcher, who is celebrating a month of membership. Being great, she writes. I'm happy to hear that, Elizabeth. Upwards and onwards. And if anything is amiss in the lounge, that goes for all members, new and old, let me know. Let me see what I can do to fix it. See that Han is also back in the chat. Goedemorgen Han, good to see you, mate. The bird controller is also patrolling. They see me rolling, they hating. In the meantime, Finnair A350 coming in, arriving from bloody Helsinki in Finland. Flight 1301. I was still clicking on Flight Radar to open up the label. Multitasking, not something that us guys are good at. This is Finnair in the One World livery. I don't recall having seen it before. Marimekko Kivek and what was it, 80 years or something, bringing people together. And Moomin, those cuddly creatures we have seen before. Don't recall having seen the One World livery already. Marianne, goedemorgen. Ari, goedemorgen. If you joined us only just now, you may have missed the landing at Polderbaan of the Surinam A340, which happened between 8:05 and 8:10 a.m. this morning. A couple of minutes prior to that, we were able to witness the Suparna 747 landing on the center runway. Yeah, we were here that early. The early bird catches the worm is what they say, and we definitely caught some worms already. Finnair in the One World livery and the firefighters, or at least the first two. Third one is still trying to catch up. Yeah, it's... Wait for me! Wait for me, guys! Wait for me! Ah, guys, come on. Hallo Rob, goedemorgen. Spotter Happy, good morning. Marike, goedemorgen. Bob, good evening. Welcome to the show, everybody. So yeah, the runway inspection is almost over. The firefighters are playing with their toys as they always do. Oh, now the third one is also playing along. Yes. They're not playing with fire, but they're playing with water instead. Which I think is not a good example when we are experiencing drought and we've been told to be careful with watering the grass and our lawns, because it looks like this might be one of the driest years that we've had in a while. Not the record driest year, I think that was still 2011 or so. Air France, Bombardier C-Series 300, arriving from Paris. And when is the first airplane to Polderbaan coming? Right now they all are still going to center. They should close center pretty soon. There's also BizJet coming this way. I'm not sure if we are able to see it. Probably not. What altitude is it flying on? It's coming in from Teterboro. Dassault Falcon 900EX. Flying at 7,000 feet. Should be coming from over there somewhere. And over there we have still have that yellow orb. Or some call it sun. Unfortunately, the thickness of the clouds is not favorable for us to see sunspots at the surface. We're not completely alone. Also some lads over there. Or a lad and a few gals, I'm not sure. Yeah, nobody's standing at the fence of the Spottersplatz parking lot any longer. And there's also... and that's the...
I think that's the BizJet.
That is the BizJet. We're hearing it, but looking up we're not seeing it, or at least I'm not. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There it was for a brief moment. Will it re-emerge? I think it would. It should.
Oh yeah, there it is. And it's gone again.
Yeah, it's gone again. And it's gone.
Yeah.
Right. So, the runway inspection of Polderbaan preceding the closure of center has finished. So I'm expecting... Oh yeah, and I think... Yeah, there is already lights. I can see lights. KLM flight 1798 arriving from JD's hometown of Düsseldorf is the first airplane to arrive to the Polderbaan. And it looks like the last airplane landing on center is flying right over there, an E2 Embraer 195. So a very warm welcome to all who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm joined by ground crew here in the form of Sander Sakay, who is also here. And we are almost the only two people who are out here right now. We are awaiting rain. Rain is expected arriving from the west. Right now, looking at the horizon, it does look a bit clear again. So what time the rain is actually going to fall remains to be seen. Alright, so now we are in the period of time until approximately 11 AM where just the Polderbaan is the only runway open for arrivals. The airplanes are not crabbing substantially yet. The wind is expected to increase and become more southwesterly as the day progresses. Right now the wind is more south than southwest. The A340, which landed around 8:05 to 8:10 a.m. So already more than an hour ago, it crabbed substantially. And you can see that the airplanes are crabbing a little bit, but not very substantial yet. Oh, and my weather app is now warning me that in 30 minutes from now it's going to rain for a longer period of time already.
Well, mine says at 12 o'clock.
Yours says at 12 o'clock. This was from buienalarm. Yeah. First time in a while that I even received a weather warning. I stood here holding the umbrella to prevent the camera from getting wet during 3 showers yesterday, and my phone apps, my weather apps didn't give me a single warning. So I really have to look into that. But yeah, rain is expected. What time exactly remains to be seen. I always trust the weather radar of KNMI, which is the Dutch Met Office, and now looking at it and refreshing tells us, and we are standing over here approximately, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to see rain pretty soon. If you are liking the stream and haven't done so already and you want to support the channel for free, liking and subscribing is an easy way to do so. So everything coming into Schiphol is now arriving here on Polderbaan. Glide slope visibility not that great yet. Daan, goedemorgen. Vossenjong, goedemorgen. People get mixed info with respect to when exactly the rain is beginning. What we do know for sure is that it's going to be a prolonged period of rain, so it's not a matter of waiting it out. It is going to rain for hours on end when it does begin. The silver lining is that by now, when looking at what the weather tomorrow is going to be like, it looks like in the morning hours we are still going to have dry weather. In fact, from 9 o'clock or so, it is expected to stay dry. And then showers or something, I thought, were commencing from 2 o'clock or so onwards. I'll check again tonight, but if that is still in the books for tomorrow this evening, I should be able to do a stream during regular streaming hours tomorrow. Yesterday I said I was planning on maybe doing an afternoon stream on Sunday, but that is only if it is necessary. If it's going to be dry in the morning, I will prefer to do a morning hour stream. Turkish A350 arriving from Istanbul is lining up and is now 3rd on the glide slope. I am able to see the number 2 already, and that is Georgian Airways arriving from Tbilisi. Can we see number 3 already? The answer is I'm not, for one. Sander, are you seeing anything? I just see the second airplane.
I can see the second one, but
Yeah, no third. No third, no. The clouds are probably in the way. I think the clouds are in the way. Hans' favorite is coming in. Vueling with the yellow dot. Mieke, goedemorgen. Lindsay, goedemorgen. Good morning. Daan, goedemorgen. Good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. Mike Romeo says that buienalarm is often triggered by false echoes on the radar. Yeah, that is exactly why I often watch KNMI's radar, because I think that is more lifelike, more realistic. I also find that buienradar also has expectations that are often overblown. If you follow the expected rain for the upcoming hours that buienradar predicts, you're almost forced. You'll never leave home. Indeed, exactly. Hopefully you guys are hearing crisp audio still, no crackling. I wasn't hearing anything, and I did some more extensive testing before going live this morning. I wasn't able to trigger any crackling, so I hope you guys are still enjoying a crackle-free stream. If you are hearing crackling, let me know as soon as possible. Use @AMS Live in your message in the chat and it'll pop up red and has a bigger chance of me seeing it. So this is Georgian Airways arriving from Tbilisi, 4 hours and 52 minutes away. It is a 737-700, 4 hours and 52 minutes on the way. The airplane is 17 years old, first flight May 2008. Tel Aviv. Has it lost the V? I wonder, has it lost the V? Tel Aviv or Tel Aviv? What is it? Hadi Sophie, goedemorgen. Tail Dragger, good morning. Goedemorgen.
By the way, that United just before I came was
Yeah.
nice and loud.
I'm not sure anymore.
He did a short reverser, but he was like, I was like, ooh.
Ah, you heard it.
Yes.
I have to say I don't remember. That's the state I'm in when it's so early. I don't remember were they loud or not. I don't recall having heard any airplanes landing here that use their reversers for extended periods of time. They
It was pretty sure, but it was. I was walking like halfway here. I was like, hey, Delta. No, that's not a Delta. That's a United. Really? That one's loud. And it was gone.
And it was gone. Yeah, it was only short-lived. Hey, Gary Grebe is also here.
Yep.
Gary Grebe, the mother ducker. Now, can I make it to autofocus? Yeah. To get him in more crisply. And let's also not forget the A350 from Turkish, arriving from Istanbul. Flight 1951. Left Istanbul 2 hours and 58 minutes ago. That is a nominal flight duration. Either reverse landing. Dal wonders if there are 747s in the pipeline. There are, but probably not on short notice. I think the only airplane of interest that I hope we can still make before it is going to rain, because this is what we are expecting, is the Orange Pride. Orange Pride is arriving from Cape Town in South with an ETA of 10:36. We should be able to make it. Honestly, if there were 747s coming into Schiphol and they were airborne already, they would show on flight radar on my map. So I guess there aren't any 747s underway right now. Maybe one will leave from Paris later. Emirates A380, I don't think we will be able to see it. Probably won't. So yeah.
When you're at Crosswind with the 318 landing, when was that?
Also, Peter K, massively thank you for your super chat. Nice looking Turkish A350. Thank you so much for that, mate. You didn't have to do that, but you went ahead, did it anyway. When was I at Crosswind when the A318 landed? You mean the Air France at the end?
Yeah. Was that like?
Was that on a Saturday?
Yeah.
I think last couple of weeks I went to the Crosswind on Thursdays and on Saturdays because of the A340 coming in. And then going to the Polderbaan on Fridays and Saturdays for departures. That was when the wind was still from the north. So it must have been either last week on a Saturday.
Yeah, I think last Saturday.
Could be.
Yeah, because we finished early with work, and as you stopped streaming and I drove away,
Yeah.
there was another one coming in.
There were two.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Like, hey, that's another one.
I don't know how many they have in their fleet, but there are two that are flying into Amsterdam on occasion.
Yeah.
Not very regularly, but they do send 2 over. The Vergugum and another one. I don't recall the registrations by heart. So yeah, slightly crabbing airplane. This is Bulgaria arriving from Belgrade. It is an Embraer 190 coming in. The LZ Burr. 2 hours and 16 minutes on the way. Embraer 190, 12 years old. First flight May 2012. In the meantime, a very good morning to all who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm standing here and I have ground crew. Sander Sarkey is also here.
Yep.
And we are filming arrivals here at the Polderbaan before the rain starts to fall. If you joined us later, you probably missed the landing of the Surinam A340-600 here on Polderbaan, which happened shortly after 8 a.m. local time. Check it out in Rewind if you missed it. Worthwhile. A couple of minutes earlier to the center runway, we also saw Suparna. I think that was the only 747 in today's stream. If you guys are enjoying the show and you want to help support the channel and reach a wider help the channel reach a wider audience, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's a free and easy way to help support the channel. Donald is in the garage over there. We also saw Daisy earlier. Daisy with 3 little ducklings. I wonder, I see something further downstream. Is that her? No, I don't think that it is. No, that's just another Donald sleeping. We know that ducks like to sleep in. They are night owls. And here our next airplane arriving is EasyJet. And because K2 is over there, its label is overlapping. Now I can see it is arriving from Persenchester. Flight 22161. Hadi Thijs, goedemorgen. Yeah, Huey, Dewey and Louie. Indeed. Well, I think I counted 4. Marcel, goedemorgen. An EasyJet it is indeed, Eric. So, on the scale of chimney smoke, currently things look like so. There is a little bit of crosswind. The wind is expected to pick up and become more westerly as the day progresses. Tomorrow also pretty decent wind from the southwest expected. Hadi Clementia, goedemorgen. Dick, goedemorgen. Good morning to all others who have joined in the meantime. This is KLM flight 1570 arriving from Porto in Portugal. It is a 737-900. So yeah, 3 of our 30-second custom emoji for members are still parked in front of the fire station. Air Europa is coming in from Madrid next, a 737-800. There we go. 2 hours and 15 minutes on the way. 12 years old, first flight July 2012. Good morning, Frank. Lucas, goedemorgen. Hans says, Saturday cleaning the floor of the fire station. I think that's what you're referring to, right? The remise, the fire station. might have gotten a little dirty if they drove around the block yesterday shortly after a shower. We did have some spray on the tarmac here from the departures yesterday as well. So in 45 minutes or so from now, if all is well, the Orange Pride is going to land here. Hopefully it's going to stay dry until then. Looking now directly to the west, it does look like it is going to happen. Earlier in the show, the westerly horizon was looking much darker than it is now. So I'm cautiously optimistic we might hold out for a bit longer. We'll see. I've got my umbrella with me for security sake. Also upgraded to 2 bags yesterday that are a bit more water repellent than the backpacks I was using before. This is Air Canada Flight 900 arriving from Montreal. 6 hours and 4 minutes on the way. 7878 Dreamliner. Delivio, goedemorgen. Good morning. Bobbers, good morning. Mark, good morning. This Canadian is 10 years old. Pretty big for a 10-year-old. First flight December 2014. And a lot of Quebecs on an airplane from Air Canada. Who would have thought? Maria says you even have an assistant to hold the umbrella. Yeah, I'm not sure that that is what Sander came out for.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, well. Now it's better to pack everything in before it starts to rain. The setup is quite sizable and requires some time to tear down properly. Yeah, but I've got backpacks now, or no, bags that are water repellent. Also the zipper is a bit more close so that water doesn't trickle in that easily. Now of course it's not completely watertight, but it should be able to keep things dry better than regular backpacks would. This is Air Oingoing Flight 5015 and it is arriving from Antalya. 3 hours and 46 minutes on the way. The TCNBH, not MBA, but MBH. November Bravo Hotel. Eight-year-old airplane, first flight December 2016. Samson verkleed als microfoon naast het tafeltje, Frank says in Dutch. Samson is a reference to a long-haired play dog that was contrived by Gert Verhulst, who's from Belgium and also thought out K3. And that's a band for young and old from Belgium. Yeah, Samson has longer hair than my dog does. He is a bit furry, but his hairs aren't as long as Samson's are. That orb is still there. Clouds are drifting in front of it. The density, unfortunately, not the right density for doing sunspot spotting. More narrow bodies are coming in. Also, small light visible over there. Is that something bigger? It does look like it might be. Zooming out of flight radar confirms that it is indeed Delta Airlines Flight 56 that we saw as number 2. An A330neo arriving from Salt Lake City. Here in the foreground we have Ryanair flight 420 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Casper, goedemorgen. And Redison Guy also back in the chat. Goedemorgen. Redison Guy is also celebrating 19 months of membership. Morgen allemaal, avond Marja, morning Redison wife. Mate, thank you so much for your continued support. Hope that everything is still to your liking in the lounge. Let me know if something is no longer to your liking and let me see what I can do to fix it. Also, if we're running low on certain things, coffee, vodka, small size condoms for Captain Jerry, let me know and I'll put them on the groceries list. We still have to do groceries later today, so might as well pick up a few things that run low in the lounge. Thank you so much for the ongoing support, Redison Guy. Just a few more months and you'll be turning blue as well. Ryanair arriving from Dublin. Will it use the reversers? Yes. If only briefly. Well, that's why I like Ryanair so much. Even though those airplanes are a dime in a dozen, when they do apply the reversers, they do get loud and they do sound gnarly, and that's what they often do. Not always, but quite a few times more than not. Delta Airlines flight 56 is crabbing in. Delta Airlines from arriving from Salt Lake City, 9 hours and 17 minutes on the way. The November 403 Delta X-Ray, 5 years old, first flight July 2019. Drifting in. For those of you joining us later, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing here at the Polderbaan runway 18 right, the primary runway for arrivals and now the only runway for arrivals. The airplanes are crabbing a little bit. The wind is blowing from the south to southwest and is expected to pick up and become a bit more westerly as the day progresses. Now, unfortunately, also as the day progresses, an area of rain is drifting in over the Gulf of Yorkshire into the Netherlands. Means we will probably not be able to stream as long as normally would have been the case, or not until as late more properly. We did begin earlier this morning. That's reversers. Now, understandably, quite a few of you weren't there yet at the very beginning of the stream. We began quite early, but it did allow us to film the arrival of the A340 from Surinam. If you missed it, go back to 8:05 to 8:10 a.m. this morning. You can see the landing. It landed on the Polderbaan. It was beautiful to see. And a few minutes earlier to that, to the center runway, we saw the Suparna arriving from Nanjing in China. It landed on the wrong runway, but it was the only queen I think we are going to see in today's show. In the meantime, Redison wife is also back in the chat. Goedemorgen. Looks like a family celebration. Redison wife is celebrating 3 months of membership. Redison wife, thank you so much for your support as well. Almost turning yellow. And that is a nice thing here on AMS Live. When people turn yellow, it's usually an indication that their liver is failing. But over here, it means you're progressing to the next level up of membership. Redison wife, thank you so much for your support. And to you too, I say, hope that everything is still to your liking in the lounge. Hit me up if something is amiss and I'll see what I can do to fix it. Right. KLM flight 1402 arriving from Paris is next to land, and after that we are going to see more wide bodies. Delta Airlines flight 74 to begin with, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, and then a Chinese A350, which is now flying base. We'll wait, of course, first Vueling. I'm zoomed out too far on flight radar, missing the airplane right ahead of me. Hans' favorite, Vueling. Is the dot still in place? We need to check. We need to know for sure. The answer is yes. Luckily it is. The world as we know it will exist for another day. I'm here with Sander Sakay, and we are not completely alone. More people have awoken. There are a trio of people over there who have been there for a while now. There's also somebody walking at the roundabout with a green jacket on. And there are now 5 people at the parking place, the parking spot of the Polderbaan. We also have some people to the north of us, but let's go back and look at KLM first. K2 is still at the north of the runway, so its label is interfering with the label of the airplane landing. This is KLM flight 1402, arriving from Paris. Redison guy says, our livers are hard as a rock already from all the wine we drank while watching your streams. Well, in that case, you can level up to green status already, going from liver failure to nausea for a year, and then to asphyxiation for the 2nd year of being a member. First you see the world white, then you see the world black, then you become red with anger, then you'll turn yellow because your liver is failing, then you'll turn green because of nausea, then you'll turn blue because you're running low on oxygen. Hey, China A350 is in a special livery. Is that the... It is... Hey, that's one we haven't seen before. Get your camera ready, because it is a beautiful one. Guizhou? The wind is picking up.
Yeah.
The wind is picking up. What the fudge? Might have to resort to using image stabilizer if it is continuing to pick up. Thanks for the heads up, Wolfgang. Beautiful Chinese A350 in a special livery landing here. But first, Delta Airlines flight 74 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. I've got a suspicion that this one will use its reversers. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. Generous also back in the jet. Elwa, Timsit, nice soundtrack promotions. Good morning. Traffic passing by overhead, just entering into the clouds and out of it. That is KLM. And our next airplane, a channel premiere. In the meantime, Donald and Daisy have arrived on the scene. Chris and Curtis Coot are over there. It's not Daisy with the ducklings. This is China Southern Airlines in the Guizhou Mo. Mutai. Mutai livery. I think that is a channel premiere for us. 11 hours and 6 minutes on the way. A350-900, 5 years old already. First flight November 2019. The registration is Bravo 30 Charlie Echo. A toast to the world. I'll drink to that. That was beautiful. And I think a channel premiere for us. Now, we're not completely alone. There are also some pedestrians north of us. Some of them are walking back. And that friendly guy has moved further to the north. It is a street sweeper that is coming this way. Street sweeper is slowly but surely moving this way. We already saw it on the other side earlier, moving to the north, and now it's coming back this side. Chinmay is telling us what is passing by overhead. Now, unfortunately, with today's conditions, it is impossible to look at airplanes that are passing by overhead. We are surrounded by clouds in the sky. Not a single patch of blue is to be seen. I think I am going to enable image stabilizer just to make sure that it's not going to get too wobbly. Hadi home, goedemorgen. At some moment, yeah, at some moment we'll all be like Smurfs, blue members and blue mods. It is the end stage of AMS Live. Well, for now, because there are 2 levels up already available, and I can even add another one, I think, for 5-year members. We now have labels for 2 years, 3 and 4. I'll have to start thinking of new labels pretty soon. Dennis, goedemorgen. Stranger, goedemorgen. Good morning. Avgeek Fuzzy, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm standing here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right, primary runway for arrivals, and right now the only runway until approximately 11 o'clock. If you joined us only later, you may have missed the arrival of the Surinam A340, which happened shortly after 8 AM local time. Definitely worthwhile to watch the rewind of that. A few minutes prior to that, to the center runway, the only queen of today's show, the Suparna 747, landed. Next up is a 777-300 arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa. That is KLM flight 592, the PHBVI Bravo Victor India. 10 hours and 38 minutes on the way. 12 years old, first flight June 2012. With the street sweeper in the bottom left, also coming this way. Now, of course, you guys were missing something. This is, of course, coming in from Johannesburg, South Africa. Lest we forget. Hope the stream audio is still without any crackling. If you are starting to hear it, let me know. There's another airplane coming in from South Africa as well, expected in half an hour or so from now, and that will be the KLM Orange Pride. Good morning, craftsmen, and all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm joined by Sander Sakay, who is ground crew today. He's sitting in the director's chair. Yeah. And we are filming arrivals here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. I am fascinated by that street sweeper that very slowly seems to be moving this way. Walking pace. And Frank gets philosophical. He wonders what color a Smurf gets when you strangle it. It is already blue after all.
I think just purple.
Purple. Purple is what Sander says over here. I think he might be right there. I think I would also say it will probably turn purple. Let's find ourselves a Smurf and strangle it for science. We have to do it for science. Sophie says United in the Star Alliance is coming. That is good news. Is that the one arriving from San Francisco flying base? Yeah, it is. Excellent. Being preceded by a Bombardier C-Series 300 arriving from Zagreb. Croatia Airlines flight 450 is next, coming this way. Now, earlier in the morning, looking to the west where the area of rain is expected to arrive from later in the morning, things were looking dark and grim, but at the horizon things were looking more light. Right now, looking to my left, it does not look like it is going to rain anytime soon. Now, saying it out loud might be jinxing it, but it looks okay still. What is this? Is that a pigeon? It is a pigeon, isn't it? That definitely looked like a pigeon. So yeah, low clouds no longer in the way of the overhead traffic that departed from a runway 24 just now. This is a KLM 737. Only now is it hitting a few clouds. And you can see it's just an isolated cloud. So there's more of a milky backdrop higher up. But at lower level, it's just the few clouds that we can see. The few darker accents, if you will. The rest is all milky backdrop higher up. And while Croatia Airlines is coming this way, it does allow us to have another glance at the weather situation. So let's do that. So let's first refresh the METAR. This is now the METAR. You can see that the wind is turning more to the west. Still clear, 14 degrees C, 10 plus kilometers of visibility. It says we have a ceiling at 1700 feet. I call bullshit. We can see higher than that. That airplane taking off just now demonstrated it. Light rain and drizzle is being warned for. Whether or not that is going to happen anytime soon, we'll see next, because this is the website of the Dutch Met Office. I'm refreshing it, and it does look like rain is getting closer by. Yeah, so even though it looks pretty clear to the west, we might actually start getting a rain sooner than it looks like. We'll see. We'll also see how hard it is going to start to rain. Right now it is still dry, and I hope it is going to stay dry until at least the Orange Pride has landed. Not sure that we will make it until then, but we'll see how far we can get. This is Croatia Airlines flight 450 arriving from Zagreb. It's an A220-300. 1 hour and 42 minutes on the way. Brand new airplane. Will turn 1 in July this year. A220s make every livery look better, doesn't it? Just place a livery on a more pretty airplane and the whole livery also immediately starts to look more interesting. Case in point, Croatia Airlines, Air France. Yeah. It's really odd because now looking around me, it is looking more light than it was earlier. The weather radar of the Dutch Met Office tells a different story, but yeah. Looking at the far horizon, it does look a bit darker than it does over here, but it is still away. Right, this is what you get when you use autofocus. That is why I usually resort to using manual focus and setting the focus to infinity. You can see the camera instantaneously snaps to that focus and it is crisp as can be. Howdy Henk, goeiedag. And Henk in Dutch wishes me a dry day. Thank you so much. I think no rain stay away dance is going to keep it from staying dry here, but let's see how long we can hold out. Floris, goedemorgen. Taildragger, goedemorgen. Street sweeper in the bottom left and a crabbing United Airlines 777-200 arrival from San Francisco on the right. The 777 is in the Star Alliance livery. 777-200, 9 hours and 38 minutes it has taken this airplane to get here. 23-year-old airplane, first flight February 2002. Now, if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing and you want to help support the channel for free, liking and subscribing is an easy way to do so. It is the Star Alliance. What's that other alliance? You have Star Alliance, you have Sky Team, and what's the third one again? Alan also back in the chat, goedemorgen. Nick, goedemorgen. MS Spotter, good morning. So, Sky Team, Star Alliance, and One World. Thank you, Peter. One World sounds the worst interesting, the least interesting. Yeah. One World, yeah. One love, peace and happiness, you know. Star Alliance, that sounds... So which one sounds better? Sky Team, Star Alliance. Sky Team, Star Alliance. I think Star Alliance sounds. I think Star Alliance sounds better. Sky Team is a bit vague. Yeah. Star Alliance is. It says it's an alliance. It says it's an alliance of stars. If you're in need, would you call Sky Team or would you call the Star Alliance to help you out?
It depends on how far they are.
Whichever is closest by. Yeah, good point. You make a good point there. Sky Team or Star Alliance?
By the time that the street sweeper is done, he can go again.
Yeah, the street sweeper will have to go another round when it is done. With all the mud and rain. At least the weather radar says we are expecting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to jinx it or evoke it. I'm just going to wait until the next airplane is arriving.
Orange Pride is 24 minutes out.
24 minutes out for Orange Pride. Oh yeah, I can see it is flying in Belgium airspace. Right in sight of Lisa's parents.
18 minutes in 777 from stop.
Yeah, there are big birds coming from all directions. Green light, good morning. De Geerdink, goedemorgen. The crawling pace sweeper, indeed. Hadi Greet, goedemorgen. And good morning to all others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the Polderbaan. Street sweeps are made of these.
Okay. That's funny.
Brush up your street sweeper. Why am I not thinking of Jay-Z? Brush that dust off your shoulder. Yeah, you're right, Charlene. Cue the music. And the unit is called a boeger. You can see it in the top of the screen. Brushing the runway, yeah, well, it's a job, somebody has to do it. Yeah, all jokes aside, the next airplane is expected and it should be arriving from the east, relatively close by. So I'm already looking, I think I have it already. There it is. KLM flight 1772 arriving from Berlin. That is a 737 with the gear already down. Just chilling and relaxing, man. Street sweeper. I think it's even slower than walking pace.
Oh yeah.
It's even slower than walking pace. The mic is picking up the sound better now. Not more better now. More now. The guy just waved briefly. Beautiful machine and doing a necessary job. Tom was also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Welcome back, mate. Wolfgang says that the sweeper might be the loudest reverser sound of the day. I hope that won't be the case. I hope you're wrong in that respect, mate. Right, KLM flight 1772 arriving from Berlin. Turned in, now on final, short final. 55 minutes of flight time, 737-700. 16 years old. It's the PHBGF Bravo Golf Foxtrot. The first flight of this airplane was in October 2008. Slowest Uber ever, Alan says. Yeah, it's not very fast, is it?
That thing for Uber Eats.
Rate my delivery speed. Hadi Henk, goedemorgen. Opa Verstappen op de baan. Grandpa Verstappen on the track. He says in Dutch, absolutely. Hadi Koen, goedemorgen. It is still dry over there. Over here, I should say. EasyJet will be next. EasyJet will be next, but where is it? That's the question. It should be turning in from the left this time round. And I think I have it. There it is. The gear is still up. Now it looks like things are lowering. Hey, and there's another airplane behind it? Or no, that's just a bird. That's just a flesh and bone bird. For a moment I thought we were seeing another airplane in the background behind it, but that's not the case. Alright, this is EasyJet flight 27860 arriving from Newcastle. A320neo. Now the next airplane should be arriving from the other side, from the right. KLM flight 1268 arriving from Copenhagen, and that is a 737-700. Still out of the picture, too far away. Slowly but surely coming this way. KLM Orange Pride is also coming this way. Should be in Dutch airspace by now. And this is the rain, which is up in front of the coast, still over the Gulf of Yorkshire. And over here, the KLM Orange Pride, which is expected in 15 minutes or so from now. Air Canada is coming, and before it, a 787-10 arriving from Cartagena. So yeah, wide bodies are coming. I wonder, the meter in the ticker, what was its time? It's going to reappear in the ticker pretty soon. Just wondering. There it is. It was from 755. That's 955. Yeah, so that is the latest meter. It was mentioning a lot of clouds and whatnot. I feel like it is not actually true to what we see over here. There are high clouds up in the sky, but here on lower level it is much less cloudy than the meter makes it seem. Most clouds that are on lower level are now to the southwest of us. Looking directly west, relatively clear. You can also see the airplane that is flying overhead now. No low clouds in its vicinity. You can follow it quite clearly. So I feel like the meter in the ticker is making the situation look worse than it actually is. And Maria mentions that we have crossed through 400 likes. Thank you all so much for that. I'm happy to hear that you guys are enjoying the stream enough to like it. If you want to help support this channel and help it reach a wider audience, liking and subscribing is an easy and free way to do so. By liking and subscribing the streams, we'll widen our community. More aviation enthusiasts who are also into live streams like these, just like you guys are, will hopefully join us. An awesome community that AMS Live has built up over the 2.5 years or so in its existence. Hopefully we are going to keep things dry here for some time to come. The Orange Pride will definitely be able to see in 15 or so minutes from now. And after the 737 that you see now in the center of the field of view, we are going to see 2 consecutive wide bodies. Turning in and visible now is KLM flight 741 arriving from Cartagena in Colombia. After that, Air Canada flight 808 is going to appear. I wonder if we are going to be able to get a 3 airplane glide slope shot now that 2 of the 3 airplanes are wide bodies. Oh, is that the Lifeliner flying ambulance? I think it might be. Yep.
Oh, there.
That is a Lifeliner. The one stationed closest by has its it's parked in the port area, the Amsterdam port area. Used to be on the rooftop of one of the academic medical centers in Amsterdam, the VU Medical Center. Now they have relocated it since a couple of years to the Westport port area. That's the Amsterdam port area west of the city. I am not sure that we see Air Canada yet. No, I now am sure. So we are seeing a 3 airplane glide slope shot of sorts. I'm surprised that we are able to see 3 airplanes at one moment. I think it has to do with the fact that the latter 2 are wide bodies. Air Canada still has the gear up. I think Tarom is going to creep in between it, the Air Canada, and there's also a KLM 777 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. So it's going to be a nice mix of narrow bodies and wide bodies. Hey Infinity, goedemorgen. Chris Smith, good morning. Chris says, had rain here in Kent, UK for a few hours going east. Yeah, it's exactly what is expected here to arrive later in the morning. It's also the reason why I went out so early and already began streaming almost 2 hours. Well, no, I think I did begin at 7:45, so I did begin 2 hours earlier. Only set my alarm an hour earlier than normally would have been the case, so there you go, a lot of excess fat that you can cut in your morning routine if only you get up early enough. And choose to get out of your bed immediately if the alarm goes. Anyway, KLM flight 741. Not expecting any reversers to be used by this airplane. Nope, that's an idle reverse landing. Seven 787-10, a Dreamliner arriving from Cartagena in Colombia, and that's right next to Next up, another Dreamliner. This is Air Canada, arriving from Toronto. And I think the Orange Pride is, yeah, we're lucky. It's now passing over Leiden and is coming to the north, relatively close by. What is its altitude? Are we able to catch it on the downwind leg? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh no, shit, it's at 10,000 feet. That's way too high. Not sure that we are able to see it. I will have a look and see if we are able to spot something. But it's still at 10k. Wow. Yeah, it's now passing east of Noordwijk. Headed towards Sassheim. This is Air Canada flight 808. Arriving from Toronto. Touching down now after 6 hours and 35 minutes of flight. 10-year-old airplane, first flight July 2014. And this too is an idle reverse landing. Means that the reversers open up, but they're not spooling up the engines. That's outbound, right? Yeah. So now looking directly to the west, there are a few more clouds over here. Looking in the direction they're blowing from, it actually looks like they are coming from over there, interestingly enough. And the Orange Pride is somewhere over there, but it is there's clouds in the way. Yeah, that's too high for us to see. Yeah. And I'm also looking at the direction the clouds are moving in. For some reason it seems that where the camera is now pointing to is where the clouds are coming from. That's interesting because on the weather radar it says that the rain is also coming from, well, from the west more or less. Yeah, well, we'll have to see. If the orange sprite hurries up, we should be able to see it land right here. Wolfgang asks, how long will it take you from the alarm till streaming ready? Well, normally I set my alarm at 7 AM and I start streaming at 9:45. Today my alarm was set at 6 and I began streaming at 7:45. I think I went to bed around 12:30, so
1:30 for me.
yeah. Night owls. What can't be helped.
This one was
if we ever go to bed before midnight, we're ill. we're sick.
When I have to start early, I'll go to bed.
Yeah? Well, I'm struggling to do that. Hard for me to manage. I'm a real night owl.
I have to start at 6. I'll get up at 4:45.
Yeah, if you have to start at 6, then you really need to go to bed early.
About 9 o'clock, it's lights out.
Lights out at 9. Wow. Yeah, but if you get in a daily cycle where you have to get up at 4 and you have to start working at 6 already, you'll get used to it. Your biorhythm will adapt. Knetter, goedemorgen. Who's tuning in from the sunny Philippines? Nice.
Send some our way.
So, yeah, exactly. Send some our way. This is Lufty, flight 988, an A319, arriving from Frankfurt. 51 minutes on the way, A319. 28 years old already. This is daily. The daily flight coming in from Frankfurt. First flight February 1997. It's even older than Lise. Peter asks, why not stream later during the day? Well, if you're talking about today, have you looked at the weather forecast? Talking about streaming later in the day, yesterday I said that based on the information about tomorrow's weather back then, that I would probably do a later stream, an afternoon stream on a Sunday, but now it looks like it is going to be dry in the morning hours, so I'll probably be able to do a morning hour stream, regular streaming time. But I will check again tonight and I'll also announce the stream tonight. But as it stands, it looks like we will be having rain overnight and then in the morning from 9 o'clock or something it is going to turn dry and then showers again later in the afternoon. So probably should be able to stream during my normal streaming hours tomorrow. I'm also doing an additional stream on Monday, the day after tomorrow, because I wasn't able to stream last Thursday because of appointments that I couldn't reschedule. Weather permitting, of course, but I think we ought to be able to squeeze a stream in at some point during the day. This is KLM flight 736 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao, 777-300. Ooh, nice and gentle touch down of the nose wheel. And how do the flap surfaces look? Squeaky clean. Looking really good. Hey, Paul is also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. Welcome back. Hope all is well. And welcome back all others who have joined us in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm joined here by Sander Sake today. And we are filming arrivals here at Polderbaan. Right now for another small half hour. The only runway open for arrivals. We began early because rain is expected to enter the country later in the morning. If you joined us later, you probably have missed the arrival of the Surinam A340, which happened shortly after 8 a.m. local time, which you can find in the bottom left corner of your screen. A few minutes prior to the A340 landing, the only queen of today's show probably, the Suparna 747 arriving from Nanjing in China, landed on the center runway. But we were able to catch its arrival quite beautifully over here. Michael in the chat, I don't think I've seen him. He did pop in the chat and was saying he was looking forward to the stream, but I haven't seen him in the chat yet. His favorite airplane is now number 2 to arrive. It is a CRJ from Lufti arriving from Munich. Here in the foreground we first have KLM Flight 1352 arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. And the KLM Orange Pride is also going to land here on this runway pretty soon. Mark says that in The Hague there is a slight drizzle. So already more to the south of us, rain has begun to fall. Right now over here, looking to the west, we do have some more cloudiness drifting in. My weather app has already given me a couple of warnings about impending rain. Grabbing Lufti CRJ in the foreground and also something in the background already coming this way. That would be an Embraer 190 KLM arriving from Geneva. Another third airplane is also visible, so we do have glide slope visibility. The cloudy backdrop is higher up in the sky. It's just not very contrasty today. Klaas is going out into the sun. Savor the moment. Enjoy, mate. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully see you again tomorrow. So we have a 3 airplane glide slope shot with Lufti now coming in. Flight 2302 arriving from Munich.
And the third one is the orange.
And the third airplane is the Orange Pride already. You can see the airplane is crabbing. It's looking us right in the face. What you looking at? What you looking at, mate? The deck NH. Good morning, Motivation. And good morning to all others. Jack Wolfman, good morning. Welcome back. Perfect timing. Number 2 now arriving is the KLM Orange Pride. There she is. And if I go overboard with my digital zoom, you can even see that the nose is orange, or at least the front, the face I should say. I spoke about the SkyTeam liveries in KLM's fleet. We saw the 737-900 arrive to the center runway earlier in the show, and I mentioned that there was another one in KLM's current fleet, and that is an Embraer 190. This is it. Flight 1930 arriving from Geneva. It's the PHEZX Echo Zulu X-ray. Touching down after an hour and 18 minutes of flight. Luana, goedemorgen. Frank, morgen. And welcome to the show, all others. Petrikov, also back. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Orange Pride is next to arrive as something with a wide body is flying behind it. That's a Delta A330 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Once again, that infamous Schiphol airport elephant was audible, but nowhere to be seen. And this is the PHBVA Orange Pride. First flight of this airplane was in January 2008. Outer flap surfaces not that clean. Triple 7300 flight 598, arriving from Cape Town South. 11 hours and 5 minutes to get here. Blow, blow, blow your nose gently in the stream. Blue skies today are merely just a dream. That is exquisite, Frank. Phenomenal. Your creativity is second to none. Absolutely. Keep it coming, mate. That's so... That is why this is such a nice community. We have all kinds of banter. Don't take everything too seriously here. And if you do, maybe this is not the right channel for you. So yeah, Orange Pride has landed. At least we got that one in the pocket. How much longer before the rain actually starts to begin here? We'll see. We'll find out, but we'll continue to stream as long as we can here while it is still dry. This is Delta Airlines flight 162, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. 7 hours and 35 minutes on the way. The November 825 November Whiskey. 9-year-old airplane, first flight October 2015. Airplanes have begun to crab a bit more substantially now than in the beginning of the stream. Let me see if I can also do an update of the meter. Yes!
Power!
Power! New! New! Don't throttle back the reversers when passing by us. No. I feel ripped off. It was supposed to last longer. Okay, Malta will be next. Let's have a quick look at the METAR. So, well, first of all, the METAR. This is the METAR in the ticker, and yeah, there's still a ceiling at 3,800 feet. Reports of few clouds at 1,500 feet, scattered clouds at 1,700 feet. The wind has turned to the southwest and is now 13 knots. There are still temporary periods of visibility 7,000 meters, light rain and drizzle, and broken clouds at 1,400 feet. Or at least that's what they are saying. Let's also go over to the website of the Dutch Met Office and renew the radar loop. Yeah, shit's about to go down according to the radar. Not sure that it will, but if it will, we'll see it soon enough. It shouldn't take too long before it starts raining over here according to the weather radar. So how much longer we are going to be able to stream for remains to be seen. Hadi Malta, goedemorgen. Got the new meter in the ticker and I'm back at the camera controls now. This is KM Malta flight 394 arriving from Malta. Oh, and there's an ITA passing overhead. That is an arriving from Milan. Is it going to go to the center runway already? Are they going to open it up a bit before 11 already? Right, so this is KM Malta, flight 394, A320neo, arriving from Malta. Landed after 3 hours of flight. Interesting, interesting. It feels like Malta is closer by than Istanbul is, for instance. But Istanbul is also a 3 hours flight. Don't they usually take less long to get from Malta to the Netherlands. 3 hours of flight, that's Athens to Amsterdam or Istanbul to Amsterdam. To me it seems that Malta would be closer by. Then again, it is even south of Italy, of Sicily, so maybe it is a nominal flight duration. I'll have to look into that. Ah no, I think ITA is also going to land on Polderbaan still. They're just directing them over the airport and then they'll give them a left-hand circuit. E2 Emerald 195, KLM flight 1918, arrival from Zurich, and after that we are going to see EasyJet with an A319, arrival from Bashel. Zalurk says, boy, shit is always going down, can't go up. Well, in South Park they could. There's this one episode where if they put food in their anus, they shat out their mouths. For those of you who still remember that episode. That's for the connoisseurs. Or people with good memories. I consider myself to be one of the latter. Anyway, Marcel Jong, goedemorgen. Boreas, goedemorgen. Petrikov says, according to bus, center is now open. So in that case, ITA is probably going to go to center, isn't it? Has anybody had a look and seen what runway it has been assigned to? Meanwhile, I see Sander holding out his hand. I'm also starting to wonder, am I feeling droplets? It does look like one small droplet has landed on my camera here. Yeah, it's also something I'm feeling it. It does look like the rain is beginning over here. Slightly, very, very lightly. Let's turn around. 2 wide bodies back to back coming in. Here we have the first, and where is the second? I don't see the second. That's not a good sign. It means that the visibility of the glide slope has become worse. Now I do see it. Yeah. Okay, so it's still a half decent glide slope shot. ITA to Polderbaan. Thank you, Paul. Hadi Afrodite, goedemorgen. Juliette, goedemorgen. Mike Warringa, goedemorgen. Darren, good morning. Darren is tuning in from rainy Oslo. Well, pretty soon it's going to be raining here as well, which is also why I began this stream really early. For those of you joining us later, first of all, welcome to the show. Happy Saturday. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. Sander Sake has joined me here today for ground crew. And we are filming arrivals here at the Polderbaan. Wind is blowing from the southwest. But there's also an area of rain that is going to pass over the Netherlands today. And already this morning I saw that it looked like it was going to arrive earlier than I had hoped. Which is why I went out as early as possible to catch as much of the airplanes landing here that we can before it actually starts to get soaking wet. If you joined us only later, you may have missed the arrival of the Surinam Airways A340-600. And not only that, but also we saw one Queen. It did go to the wrong runway though, granted. See that Marcel has renewed his membership. Marcel, good to have you back, mate. We kept your seat warm and everything is still where you left it. Thank you for renewing your vote of confidence. Welcome back to the Aurora Skylines, Marcel. 2 ETAs are coming to Polderbaan, RL says. That's good news. Slight drizzle has begun here. Very, very light. It means that Donald and Daisy are taking off. They're saying, screw you humans, we're going to somewhere drier. And rightly so. Over here, this is KLM flight 696 arriving from Toronto, Canada. 777-200 6 hours and 37 minutes on the way. It's the PHBQL Bravo Quebec Lima. K4 bird control driving along the water here, really close by. Tossing us a little wave. Just now. Now the runway inspection, but a water runway inspection. Hey, more Donald and Daisies. Now also a pair has arrived over here. And that's not the Daisy with the ducklings. There was one mama duck with 4 ducklings, if I counted them correctly. 3 or 4, I think 4. She swam past from north to south earlier in the stream, in the beginning of the stream, and never returned. Or if they did return, they returned quietly. Looks like the next airplane is BA. It is BA. BA flight 430 arriving from London Heathrow, and this is an A319. Diamond Painting Tuin, goedemorgen. Zulurk says the AMS Live vodka is still on the table. Yeah, indeed, absolutely. Kept everything the way it was. You can definitely see that the airplanes have begun to crab more substantially now that the wind has turned more to the west. This morning when we began the stream, the wind was more from the south. It has picked up and has turned more to the west. In other words, a bit of cross-windy conditions here. Tomorrow the same. For those of you joining us later, I am planning on doing a stream tomorrow, and it looks now like we are able to do it in the morning hours, just regular streaming hours like before. Yesterday I announced that maybe the stream on Sunday would be an afternoon stream, but that was based on the information of the expected rain we had yesterday. Now today it looks like it is going to rain overnight, and it's going to get dry again in the early morning from 9 o'clock or something onwards. And then showers later in the afternoon, but that's after 2 p.m. So if all is well, I should be able to do another stream tomorrow during regular streaming hours. I will have another look tonight, and I will announce the stream as well beforehand tonight. Give you guys a heads up as early as I can. Weather permitting, I'm also doing a stream on Monday because I wasn't able to do a stream on Thursday due to appointments that I couldn't reschedule. It is now time for the first ETA of the show. ETA Airways flight 120 arriving from Milan, 1 hour and 28 minutes on the way. It is an A320 Irish registered. It's the EIDTB. Down to Barf? Nah, that's not Italian. Down to do what? DTB. It is 16 years old, first flight February 2009. Down to boxers, Optimus Toaster says. And good morning, Optimus. Paul Don, also back in the chat. Good morning, lads. Jeff also there. Karsten already said hi to him. Wolfgang wonders where playtime is today. I'm not sure. Isn't it underway? They fly daily, don't they? Basil is Italian. Down to Basil. That must be it then. Allora, benvenuti ragazzi. Welcome, lads. Dave Blom, goedemorgen. QJ, good morning. We're lucky It's back-to-back ETAs. Wherever you see one ETA, another one is never far away. Definitely not today. This is ETA Airways flight 108 arriving from Rome. It's an A320neo, 2 hours and 7 minutes on the way. Airplane a year old, first flight August 2023. And I see that Veerboot just renewed his or her membership. Welcome back, Veerboot. Veerboot, what's the English word for veerboot again? No, not a pond. Ferry. Ferry. Thank you, Lise de Beu. Veerboot, aka Ferry. Could that be it? Could that be his name, Ferry? Ferry is a Dutch name for boys. Veerboot, welcome back. Thank you for renewing your membership. We kept your seat warm. This is the IHOA. Italian hose, and this is an IHOA. Italian airplane, Irish registration. IHOA. Alright, now let's see what else is in the pipeline. JetBlue arriving from Boston is number 2. And number 1 is number 190 arriving from London City. Hey, first banana of the show arriving from Madrid is also coming. Indeed, Lisa, almost the same flag as well. Didn't even think about that, but that's absolutely true. So yeah, we have the lightest of drizzle over here. Not amounting to anything substantial yet. Although at times it does feel like, but that's mostly the wind now. Also acting up a little bit. KLM flight 980. I spoke too soon. Slowly but surely we are getting more droplets here, so makes me wonder until when is it wise to continue streaming, because it's not going to get dry anytime soon now that things have begun to get wet here. German Airways arriving from London City, flying on behalf of KLM, and best way to see what is going on is zooming in to the bags, which are luckily water repellent. Do show you the droplets that are landing on it rather well. You might also hear droplets falling on my hoodie, the hoodie of my parka. And in the meantime, it's good to have you back, Floris Hendricks, who just renewed his membership as well. Welcome back, mate. We kept your seat warm as well, and everything is still the way you left it, just like you like it. Welcome back, Floris. Thank you for the support, for renewing it. Alex V says, in Hoofddorp, the sun is shining again. And that's not Hoofddorp, Noord-Holland, where we are right next to. Tot ziens, bye bye. That's the friendly. I think he's. I'm almost certain he is Japanese. The friendly man with the orangey brownish jacket, who was here yesterday as well. JetBlue arriving from Boston, now landing here, and Aegean seems to be the first airplane to land on the wrong runway. In the meantime, my camera is beginning to get wet. I think it is prudent to wrap it up pretty soon. Let's see. I wouldn't want to leave you guys without playtime. We are going to see United arriving from Chicago. That's a Dreamliner, now number 2 to arrive. We have an A300, 600 behind it, and then Play. I think I'm going to wrap up after Play has landed. Let's have a quick look, because I don't think... Let's have a quick look and see what the weather is doing. This is a renewal. Yeah. It's not going to get dry anytime soon. The stream is still having a good connection, an excellent connection even. That's good news. Happy about that. We were having some connection issues during a rain shower yesterday. Haven't heard anybody reporting any crackling in the audio today, so I'm hoping that was also a one-off occurrence yesterday. Right. Things are beginning to get a little wet here. Just cleaning my camera screen and my phone screen as well. Droplets are falling onto it. No sound problems today, Wolfgang says. That's good news. Thrilled that that was not a recurring issue. The connection also seems to have been a one-off issue, at least the issue that we were having on Sunday. The thing that happened yesterday, I think, was that in showers the Wi-Fi reception is going down. Not sure if weather is able to have an influence on that, but it almost certainly did by judging the coincidence with the shower. After the shower had passed, the connection resumed again, normalized. This is United Airlines Flight 909, a 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Chicago. 7 hours on the way. Crabbing over here. Mr. Lane says it's still dry at the coast. Yeah, you're still a bit further to the north. People reported rain having begun already in Rotterdam and The Hague earlier. So it looks like the rain is also traveling from south to north today. Just the way that the rain is drifting in. Right now it starts to slow down again with the rain, interestingly. Center is open, yeah. Center is open again. No, I was wrong. It's not stopping with the rain. Next up, an A300-600 from Airbus DHL. Let's see, number 5 on flight radar tracked by 300 people. It's still quiet at on flight radar. The airplane is 30 years old, first flight September 1994. Right, filming with the umbrella really is not that great. Alrighty, last airplane of the day, play flight 460, arrival from Reykjavik. Although it is now once again I'm getting mixed signals from the weather here. Because it is brightening up again here behind us. What is going on here? It's really weird. It is getting bright behind us. Let's have another look. It's also dissolving a little bit, so it's really progressing slowly. Jeff wonders why is the ground crew not holding the umbrella, because that is not something that the ground crew needs to do they? Yeah, and in 5 minutes there's a special livery from Delta that we have seen before on several occasions already. For me, that is not a very important consideration. The important consideration is, will my camera stay dry enough to last for a bit longer, or do I need to shelve out a couple of thousand to get a new one if it does break because of rain? That is more relevant for me. But it is only 5 minutes away. Things have dried up a little bit. We can stick around for it, I think. That's the A350 on number 3. Yep, Team USA. It's been a while since we last saw it, so might as well stick around. Does seem like the rain is slowing down again. Really weird, because now big umbrella. Now looking in the direction where the wind seems to be blowing from, it is more open again. Frank says your camera will stay dry. We have alternative facts. I read it all on Truth Social. Let's see what is going to happen. I don't think it's going to get any drier, but it does look like the progression of rain is slowing down a little bit. Right, let's see. The A350, is it visible already? I'm not seeing it yet. So the cloud, oh yeah, I think there it is. There's the A350, barely becoming visible. Is it now? No, it's still, it's still trickling, isn't it? Yeah. It's a slow trickle. In the meantime, Sander is holding an umbrella above me. Thank you so much for that, because that really, you really did not have to do that. But we'll be able to film the Delta A350 Team USA livery. It's been a while since we last saw it, so it is nice to be able to film it. You guys should massively thank Sander for holding up the umbrella. That's keeping the camera dry and is allowing me to stay around a bit longer. So this is Delta Airlines Flight 132 in the Team USA livery, arriving from Detroit, Michigan, 6 hours and 58 minutes on the way now. It is the November 521 Delta November. First flight of this airplane was in April 2024. The airplane is a year old. Massive thanks in the chat. Sander, you're getting the congratulations you deserve. Also quick, big thank you to Wolfgang, who just now went ahead, gifted 5 memberships, which he totally didn't have to do. That was not necessary, but I think, oh, sorry. It was because we crossed 500 likes. Thank you all so much for that, mate. You really didn't have to do that. Thank you all so much for the likes. It's 11:12. Yeah, already earlier than I had wished it began to rain. But there you go. Team USA A350 Delta Airlines having arrived from Detroit, Michigan. Five minutes behind its schedule. Now, this was the last airplane for today because it isn't going to get any more dry now, and I don't want Sander to get a sore shoulder. He's holding the umbrella above shoulder height, and that is not ergonomical. So we're going to wrap up. A massive big thank you also to Marco, who is celebrating 16 months of membership. Hatseflats, fijn weekend allemaal. He writes, Hatseflats is a word that is difficult to translate. It's it's like bada bing, bada boom. How do you translate that? I am going to wrap up now, guys, because it is going to continue raining now. Thank you all so much for joining me here. It was an early start. I'm happy that we were able to get, how much has it been? 3.5 hours out of today's stream. If all is well, I should be back again tomorrow. Hopefully with dry weather in the morning hours. I'll have a look tonight and see what time I'll be starting the stream. I'll announce it when I have made up my mind. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. I had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I have. A massive big thank you to Sander Sakay for joining me here for ground crew and for holding up an umbrella above the camera in the last several minutes. A massive big thank you to everybody who supported the channel with their likes, with super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, becoming a member themselves, I become a membership. That's my goal for today. Renewing your membership, PayPal donations, merch store purchases and whatnot. Mods, thank you all for keeping the stream, the chat friendly and accessible to all for another stream. You guys rock. Thank you all for joining me here today. stay dry, enjoy the rest of your day, and I hopefully see you all again tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.